I'm Spence Clark, and this is Modern Tribe TV. I'm here with ANN ATWATER, civil rights activist. Hi, Ms. Atwater.
Hi.
I wanted to know if you would like to tell the viewers out there a little bit about yourself.
So my life has been kind of rough in terms of having something, but I know that the Lord kept us going. He kept us moving from one point to another, taking us from A to B. And that's what I liked about it, because knowing the Lord is what helped me get through. I couldn't have made it without Him.
What made you get involved in the civil rights movement?
Well, and He put me in community action technician training for 17 weeks. And I started, what he said he wanted was somebody to help organize neighborhood councils in 23 neighborhoods in Durham. And so I set out to do that. And that's what I come out that training. I started taking names and kicking butts and haven't stopped since. I've been doing it ever since.
And did that lead to you meeting C.P. Ellis?
Yes, in essence it did, because I was serving only at that time. I began to serve on different boards. Everybody in Durham found out I could talk, so they wanted me to serve on their board. So I was on Human Relations Board, the Commission Board, and C.P. Ellis was on the board. And but I didn't know C.P. was a Klansman at that time. I just thought there was another white man on the board. And so the AFL-CIO gave a grant to the Human Relation in order for us to integrate the schools peacefully. Our school, we were behind. We weren't integrating the schools, and it seemed to be right much bickering in the school system. So they met. They said, well, they will meet 10 days, and they got the meeting, started the meeting. CP went to the first meeting. Well, I didn't go. I didn't want to go. I said, I ain't going down to that crowd. Well, my boss man told me at that time I was working in Housing Authority. He told me I better go, don't I lose my job. So I said, well, I can't lose my job because I want to take care of my children. And I got the van, and I went on out, get a load of people from the community to the meeting. And when I got there to the meeting, CP was up in the floor. All niggas ought not to be allowed across this track. And I walked in and I said, you damn crackers ought not to be allowed across the track. And so that's the way it started with me and him for a whole 2 weeks. And they couldn't do nothing. We worked for a long time. I wouldn't talk to CP and he wouldn't talk to me. And so one day he wanted to leave his Klan material hanging up on the wall. And because every morning when I'd go there, he would be in the trunk of the car showing his machine gun. He had a machine gun and I had a Bible. And he was showing his machine gun to the city manager and everybody else, the mayor, and everybody would be standing around the car. Council members be looking at that machine gun. Every morning I'd go down to the school. And so I said, well, you know, they better not bother me, but they didn't. And so I went on in the building. Then when he had that wanted to hang his material up on the wall, he didn't have nobody to look after it. So I told him I would watch it and to keep the boys from tearing it up. So I told them they ought to read what's in the writing. They could never keep his whole card until they see where he come from, what's in that writing. He said he's a Christian. Read it and see if that's what the papers say. Then they would know where he's coming from. And when they didn't tear it up, he said, "Ooh, you ain't as bad as I thought you was." That's what he told me when I went back in the office. So then we had the youth, the children out, and they were telling us they didn't want whites, said they didn't want blacks, and blacks said they didn't want whites. And I told them they was going to have one school to get a good education. And that's what they needed to be together. So they decided they won't have a one school, that they would go to school together. And so after we got them together, me and CP went back in there and we cried because we had been fighting because one was black and one was white, not because what the school problem was. So after that, we went out to the schools. We hadn't done nothing about looking to see what was in the schools. So we went out to the schools and found out that Hillside had 11th grade materials for their 12th graders, and Durham High had 12th grade materials for their 12th graders. and so we were a year behind anyway. And so we took all that stuff out and compared it to the incinerator. And that's how we got things started around, moved everything out of all the schools and started putting new stuff back in the schools.
How long was he a Klans member before you met him?
I don't know how long. I reckon a long time. I don't know. But he, however long it was, it didn't take him too long to give it up. He told him that he don't know. Well, he said he wanted to be a Klansman because he wanted to feel like he was somebody. He wanted to be somebody big, like the president or somebody like that. That's what he always wanted to be.
Do you feel that race relations have changed any since?
A little bit, but not much, not a whole lot. I think it's up to the individual.
Miss Atwater, would you like to tell us a little bit more about the documentary, An Unlikely Friendship?
Well, it's the same. It's scripts taken from the book, and it's basically letting people know that regardless of what you believe in difference, you can get together and work something out. And that's what it's telling everybody, that because CP and I had difference, we were two different people, we got together and worked peacefully to integrate the school system. And we're not fighting and tearing up. And anytime anybody got any problems, you can lay, what you got down and work on the problem. And that's what we learn, and most everybody has learned to do that, to lay their problems down and work on the problem at hand, and been able to get things done. And that's basically what the documentary is telling everybody. I wish everybody could see the documentary.
And for those that didn't catch the name of the book is
The Best of Enemies, Redemption in the New South, written by Osha Gray Davidson.
That's The Best of Enemies.
And the documentary is Unlikely Friendship, and that's written by Diane Bloom.
And if anyone would be interested in watching the documentary, you can leave a message on my Facebook page or at Modern Tribe TV. I'm Spence Clark, and this is ANN ATWATER. Once again, Modern Tribe TV. Check us out on moderntribetv.com, AM News.